Hello, and welcome to POLS 3313, Public Policy Analysis, uh, coming to you from my home, and I will welcome you all to a online course. This course will primarily be asynchronous, but I will encourage you repeatedly during the time we're together to be sure to contact me, and that I'll try to help you as much as possible. Probably the best way, at least starting out, to contact me would be through my campus email. That is csnook1 at kennesaw.edu. If you wish, we can always set up an appointment time. We're going to have one mandatory appointment during the course of the semester. When I teach this course face-to-face, obviously face-to-face is one of those options. At least through June, I'm not going to be doing face-to-face meetings with students because of the virus situation. However, as the school gives me more of advice, I might be able to do that later in the semester. But I think primarily this semester we will work through either Skype or telephone calls for any kind of one-on-one communication in real time. Now, if you wish to just ask questions, the campus email will remain the best way for us to get in touch. You'll notice in the discussions tab, there will be an opportunity to sign up for a telephone or a Skype meeting coming up within the next couple weeks. If you're looking at the syllabus, you should look at the syllabus as maybe your main way of determining what is due. There's an effort to have the calendar reflect the upcoming assignments. Where there's a discrepancy between the calendar and the syllabus, you should probably look to the syllabus, or again, my advice is drop me an email and we will sort it out. I try to be very reasonable that way. So we have a couple textbooks this semester. One that we'll be using a lot is this Practical Guide to Policy Analysis. This is the 6th edition of the Bardock book. When I refer to Bardock, see, it actually says Bardock and Patashnik, but I'll often just say the Bardock book because Eugene Bardock has been putting together a practical guide for policy analysis for an extended period of time. Actually, the history of it is in his introduction to the book, so it might be interesting to do. Anyway, as you're looking to write and research your policy analysis paper, this will be an important aspect of that. Another textbook that we will be using in the class is Deborah Stone's Policy Paradox. Make sure you get the 3rd edition of the book. It's pretty different from the 2nd edition. So the 3rd edition has been out for a while. You should be able to get a used copy, and then you should keep it. It's a great book. What we're actually going to do in the course is you're going to read it, and because it's going to reflect several different ideas that maybe you can bring into your policy paper, we're going to have a book report about it. So you're going to be expected to work alone a lot with the Stone text, and you'll have an opportunity to select those portions of it that are most useful for your research and for your interests in policy analysis. Now, in addition, we're going to have slides, and I'm working to have voiceover PowerPoints this semester. We're going to have slides that will introduce you to several other important works in policy analysis. One book that I used to utilize for this course, this Michael Munger policy Analyzing Policy is the name of the book. And I used it for years. However, it's a 2000 edition, and we're starting to get to a point in time where that's an awful long time ago. Drawing from the Munger book rather than using the Munger book as your primary text has just made a lot more sense in recent years. If you want to, they're available for as little as $10 online. Maybe a slightly more advanced book than what we're really expecting this semester. But if you really have an interest in this, perhaps you're planning to get a master's degree in public administration, I would certainly recommend that you look at the Munger book. So primarily, I'm going to be available. I'm going to be sitting in front of my computer from 10 to 12 and from 2 to 4 on Mondays through Thursdays. The effort is that I would be able to get back to you almost immediately at those times. Other than that, I'm going to try to respond to everybody. I'm going to make a commitment to respond to everybody Monday through Thursday within 24 hours. So one of the things I'll do is I'll be looking through my messages at 10 a.m. Every morning, Monday through Thursday, and when I see something, I will respond to it. However, that's not to say that if I see something at 8 o'clock, I'm going to put you off until 10. I will, depending on my availability, will make sure that I can help you as much as possible. The syllabus on page 2 has a list of the assignments and the grading for it. You'll see the entire course is out of 200 points, and the policy analysis paper itself is worth 50 points. So working on the policy analysis paper is very critical to your success in this course. And in fact, it's a requirement that the Stone book report, the midterm exam, the final exam, and the policy analysis paper must all be completed. They're by far the most important aspects of the course, although we're going to have some reaction papers where you have directions in this first opening module of the course on how to do a reaction paper. Essentially, it's about 1 page worth of your summary, followed by an equal amount of your reaction, what it has taught you, what it has caused you to think about. Go ahead and read the instructions. It's pretty self-explanatory. My hope is that you're writing 200 to 250 word reaction papers, and that it becomes particularly easy to you. We do have something called the easy question assignment, kind of a chance to make sure that you're willing to jump in and get started on the course right away. This isn't a very good course for somebody who's hoping to spend 2 or 3 weeks of just hanging out before the first assignment. The premise that I have of the easy question assignment is someday you'll probably be working for somebody and they'll say, hey, I need some information on this. And obviously working up an entire policy analysis might take a little more than a day. We're talking about an assignment that once you find out about it, should only take you maybe an hour to do, maybe half an hour to do. Anyway, look for the instructions on the easy question assignment. I'd like you all to write a personal introduction. One of the things you can share as much as you want about your personal life. I'm mostly interested, though, in what particular areas of public policy interest you. Maybe you want to do a quick overview of what public policy means, what public policy analysis means, and before you write that, but here you get 10 points for finishing and completing the prompt. It's 150 to 200 words. So, and unlike previous semesters, the midterm exam and the final exam are going to be short answer rather than essay. I've just decided that it's a little bit, that there's specific things that I'm hoping that you pick up, and we will review for them so that you'll know, and you'll actually have a long period of time to complete the midterm and the finals. So I wouldn't be overly concerned, but I want to make sure that you've taken the time to learn particular things, and the midterm and the final will give you the opportunity to do this. So I would read through, we have some class rules and some university policies, but then on page 5, you actually have the course outline. And as you see, we have a lot to cram into just our 8 weeks together. So our first module is only going to be the 26th through the 30th, through Friday of the first week, or I guess that's Saturday of the first week. But there's really nothing in it that a student has to really learn before completing, but it's something that a student should try very hard to get started. And this is a effort to make sure that everyone gets started. So you're going to have a personal introduction, an easy question assignment due. You're going to look at the course goals, my introduction and welcome here, and the syllabus. And once you've done that, you'll be ready to move forward into Module 2. And Module 2 is just an introduction to the Stone book. And so I'm hoping that everybody is anxious to get through Module 1. You start on Module 2. You can start today on Module 2 and begin reading of the Deborah Stone's Policy Paradox. That module only has a reaction paper, but the reaction paper is going to ask you to have read section 1, part 1 rather, of the Stone book. If you look at the Stone book, it's real short. Ta-da. Hey, find a card, a Coca-Cola playing card as a bookmark. It's only 17 pages long, so not a lot of reading, and then a 200-word reaction to those 17 pages. So that should be pretty simple. Now, I really enjoy policy analysis. An awful lot of what people do in public policy is talk about things that they'd really like to accomplish. There's many public policies that I'd like to accomplish as well. I think one of the things that policy analysis does is it starts to make us question whether whether our objective is to pass a policy or whether our objective is to solve a problem. This is a very problem-solving based approach that we're going to have. So when you make a proposal to me about the policy paper that you wish to write, I'm going to ask you not to focus on a particular policy. I don't want you to say, I'm for House Bill 74. I don't care. House Bill 74 might solve a problem I care about. I might worry about, whether the coronavirus has hurt the economy so much that it's going to cause a depression. I want you to come up with a solution to that. Well, that's actually a rather large problem. My suggestion is that you actually focus on small problems. My suggestion to you is that you focus on something that you can describe and get your arms around and actually understand. Unless you are an expert in economic forecasting, it's probably likely that understanding the effects on taxation of having the economy closed for 2 months might be a bit much. On the other hand, what if you're interested, what is your main interest? What are the problems that you see in society? by and large, I have a bias against any kind of policy that is intrinsically harmful, that is promoted to me as a taxation plan. Now, if you want to make it, if you want to recommend that something be done to solve so let's say that you are desiring to uh, legalize prostitution. You have to make that argument to me in terms of why that would be good, which I do not, that'll be a tough sell. But if you're going to say, because then we would make all sorts of money in taxes, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, uh, raise the income tax, something like that. Don't harm people to increase government revenue. Another thing that I would say is, whatever you are the most interested in, whatever you care the most about, is probably the thing that you're going to be willing to take 10, 12, 15 hours of your summer to focus on. So, if you aren't interested in bicycle safety, don't write to me about bicycle safety. If you are interested in fireworks, then write about fireworks. Don't think that any policy is too large or too small if it's something that you really care about. If it's too large, we'll narrow it down to something that you actually can cover. And if it's too small, there can always be a lot of detail. Maybe what you care about is lawn mowing of city parks in Atlanta, Georgia. And you say, well, how can I get 10 pages out of that? And I'll say, look, trust me, there's more than 10 pages worth of memos that have been written just on how to continue lawn mowing in city parks in Atlanta during the COVID-19 crisis. So don't worry about there not being sources. There's plenty of information about anything that you care enough about. So you can start sending me messages right away about things that you say, is this good enough? Or is this something I could do? And I'll give you some feedback. I don't promise to know everything about every issue. I do promise that I will present to you a methodology that will help you analyze policy problems that you care about and to find alternatives that could help solve those problems. All right, so we start to get into material next time, and I hope you all are eager to have a good semester. And I'm going to spend a few minutes preparing, and then I will videotape that. So I'll look more or less the same. Maybe I'll brush back my hair. But otherwise, it'll all be the same, and we'll begin talking about the Stone Book. So I hope we all have a great summer, and I'll be hearing from you soon.